Okay, members for House Tyrell and the Night's Watch, I welcome you to topic number 2. I will proceed with my opening speech. For those who were not present at the time when I first presented, so I'll begin now. Members, honorable guests, and participants, it is my pleasure to preside over today's debate on the important topic of men make better leaders than women. At this moment, I would like to extend my gratitude to the debaters for their preparation. Your dedication enriches the spirit of this debate. Before we begin, I would like to outline the guidelines and the structure of today's debate to ensure clarity and order. All debaters must address themselves to Mr. Speaker at the outset of their speeches and throughout the debate. Debaters must always refer to one another in the third person. Only one debater at a time may hold the floor of the House by having their mic unmuted. When the speaker speaks, all debaters must immediately cease speaking and resume their seats. If someone interrupts another debater and addresses themselves to the speaker, an interrupted debater shall surrender the floor by unmuting their mic. Heckling is encouraged as long as it is pertinent, brief, and infrequent. However, I wish to remind you to engage respectfully amongst one another and to listen attentively to each viewpoint that is discussed today. Might I also stress the point that the purpose of this debate is not to argue with one another, but it is to discuss the complexities of the topic at hand, therefore allowing us to explore solutions. Without further delay, let us begin with our proceedings. I now invite member from House Tyrell to present their opening arguments. The floor is now yours.
Good night, speakers and members. I am Aisha Tyrell, Hand of the Queen. I will be presenting House Tyrell, and today we will be arguing that men do make better leaders. Mr. Speaker, I will first define a leader. A leader is someone who aims to motivate, aspire, and empower others to achieve a goal. However, leadership requires one to tackle the competition, solving problems decisively and quickly. At a young age, males are taught to be competitive and strong, whereas females are taught to be caring and nurturing. One can argue that these are the typical stereotype that society has assigned for both male and female. Moreover, for years, Therefore, I strongly believe that men make better leaders. For instance, according to an article published on AP News in 2019 by Edith Lederer, it states that when it comes to political power, women are outnumbered by men, accounting for less than 7% of the world's leaders and only 24% of lawmakers. In addition, an article published in the journal Behavior and Organization by Monash Business School, Professor Philip J. Grossman and his colleagues, after doing research and experiments and removing certain factors such as competitiveness and risk-taking that affect leadership, they suggest that it is people's own bias against female leaders, and although they hire females, they value the contribution of women less than male colleagues. Furthermore, Professor Grossman mentioned that people's cultural background play a crucial role in deciding who make a better leader. He states that our society is paternalistic, and when persons think of a leader, they oftentimes think of a man. And that's why I strongly believe that men make better leaders. I thank you.
Member, thank you for your opening remarks. We will begin with our 2-minute intermission. Proceed starting now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our intermission. So I would like to take the time to ask the member for the Night's Watch to proceed with their arguments against. The floor is now yours.
Good afternoon. I am Lady Commander Shadal. Lord Speaker, lords and ladies of the realm, gather round as we embark upon the most worthy discourse. We stand upon the precipice of a great debate, one that shall test the very fabric of our understanding of leadership. The assertion before us is that men pose a greater aptitude for leadership than their fairer counterparts. In the grand hall of Westeros, where the Iron Throne beckons for the strongest and the most cunning, history has oft favored their male heirs of noble houses, those who wield swords and command armies. Yet, let us not forget the wisdom of the queens and ladies who have shaped destinies with their cunning and grace. Consider the wise and cunning Lady Catelyn Stark, who, though she may not wield a sword, she commanded respect and loyalty that could rival any lord. Her fierce protection of her family and her unwavering moral compass reflects the qualities that transcends the mere notion of gender. But let us turn our gaze from the north to the world of business, where formidable women have risen not merely to serve at the foot of the Iron Throne, but to claim their rightful place upon it. Lord Speaker, let the tales of these queens commence, who have proven leadership that knows no gender. Firstly, we have the indomitable Sheryl Sandberg, the former COO of Facebook, who, who guided the realm of social media through treacherous waters, steering it to heights that many could scarcely imagine. Like Daenerys Targaryen, she did not shy away from her ambition. Instead, she embraced it, advocating for women to lean in and seize their rightful place at the table. Her voice resonates like a battle horn, rallying women to rise and claim their power. Then let us not forget the wise and calculating Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, who took the helm of a ship once adrift in the stormy seas of bankruptcy and scandal. Under her leadership, GM has transformed much like the Seven Kingdoms under the rule of the true queen. Her vision has led to innovation and sustainability, proving that a woman's touch can indeed reshape the very foundation of industries. And who could overlook the formidable Indra Nooyi, the former CEO of PepsiCo, who navigated treacherous waters of the global markets with the precision of a master strategist. She wielded her influence like a Valkyrian steel sword, championing diversity and sustainability, ensuring that her realm not only thrived but also also contributed to the betterment of society. Margaret Thatcher, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Mia Mottley, and Angela Merkel to the transformative reigns of great leaders. These women, my esteemed Mr. Speaker, are but a few among the many who have carved their names into the annals of history, proving that leadership is not a birthright bestowed upon men, but a mantle that can be worn with honor by anyone regardless. So I urge you to cast aside the anarchy belief that have long swayed over minds of men and women alike. Let us forge a new path where the strength of leadership is measured by the courage of one conviction, the depths of one vision, and the strength of one's character. Lord Speaker, we come to the understanding the virtues that virtues mark a true leader: vision, empathy, resilience, and the power to inspire. Furthermore, the tombs of knowledge reveal that diverse leadership brings forth richer victories. As we delve into this contentious matter, we have explored the virtues that have forged the leaders of our age: the strength of resolve, the clarity of vision, and the prowess in times of strife. We will dismantle the stereotype that men inherently possess superior leadership qualities, as we just highlighted the strengths and the achievement of women leaders throughout history and in contemporary society. Thank you, Lord Speaker.
Member, thank you for your arguments. I did notice as you were speaking, there was a hand that went up by a member that is in your group. It was, member, would you please address why the hand went up?
Mistake. Sorry.
Not a problem, sir. Okay, well, we will begin our 2-minute intermission, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our intermission. I would like to invite the member of House Tyrrell to begin with their first rebuttal. The floor is now yours.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, debaters, and guests. Mr. Speaker, historically, men have dominated leadership roles across politics, business, and military spheres. This extensive experience allows them to develop a level of political savvy that is difficult to replicate in a short period. Men's historical presence in leadership has granted them a wealth of institutional knowledge and understanding of governance dynamics that women who have been systematically excluded may not have had the same access to. For instance, Mr. Speaker, the accumulation of power and influence among male leaders, such as Winston Churchill and Franklin D. Roosevelt, highlights the critical role men have played in shaping political structures. Their leadership styles, rooted in years of experience, are often revered for their decisiveness and ability to steer nations through crisis, underscoring that male political experience, while shaped by historical inequalities, provides a robust framework for effective governance. Mr. Speaker, again, men are often seen as more decisive and comfortable with risk, traits traditionally associated with strong leadership in times of crisis. The boldness of male leaders, such as Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin, highlights how these characteristics can be adventurous in situations where quick, decisive actions are required. Trump's unconventional approach to diplomacy, like his meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, exemplifies the risk-taking behaviors that is often linked with masculine leadership. Putin's assertive foreign policy and strong stance on national security are praised for their decisiveness. In politics, where decisions can have long-lasting consequences, Mr. Speaker, men's ability to act swiftly and boldly is considered crucial in times when action is needed without hesitation. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker.
Member, thank you for your arguments. Once again, we will proceed with our 2-minute intermission. Beginning now. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2-minute intermission has concluded. So I will proceed to ask member to, to present their first rebuttal against. Member, your floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Lord Speaker. It was argued that men are historically more dominant leaders than women. However, this is blatantly wrong. Historically, we have witnessed male domination in leadership, not because men are inherently superior leaders, but because of social norms and biases that have systematically excluded women. However, as women have been given leadership roles more often, they have excelled, demonstrating that the absence of women in leadership reflected discrimination, not capability. The argument that men are better leaders is rooted in outdated stereotypes. Leadership in today's world demands emotional intelligence, adaptability, and inclusiveness, areas in which female leaders have consistently shown excellence. These qualities are critical to fostering collaboration, building trust, and driving innovation in modern organizations. Empathy, vision, decisiveness, and emotional intelligence are not traits assigned by gender. In fact, Gale's shifted models of American rhetoric rightly asserts, if we prove women and men are capable mental beings, gender ascription ceases to be a necessary system of classification and should not be a method of organizing leadership. This pivotal statement underlines the urgent need to move beyond outdated gender stereotypes in our conception of leadership. Leadership, Lord Speaker, is driven by integrity, self-confidence, and trustworthiness, qualities that do not belong to only one gender. Research clearly demonstrates that leadership effectiveness depends not on whether a leader is a man or a woman, but on the skills and experience they bring to the role. This is a fact emphasized by multiple studies shown that when women are given an opportunity to lead, they do so with the same competence, vision, and ability as men. Therefore, to suggest that one gender is inherently superior in leadership is both scientifically baseless and detrimental to the pursuit of inclusivity and diverse leadership styles that only strengthen our institutions. Historically, sorry, allow me to highlight an exemplary female leader, Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand. Her leadership through some of the most challenging periods in her nation's history, such as the Christchurch terrorist attacks, the White Island volcano disaster that claimed the lives of 22 people, and the COVID-19 pandemic, was nothing short of remarkable. Ardern's calm, compassionate, and decisive leadership was not just effective, it was globally praised. She stands as a testament to the fact that women are not only capable of leadership, but in times of crisis may demonstrate extraordinary effectiveness. In conclusion, Lord Speaker, it is time we move past the archaic belief that leadership is gendered. Leadership is defined by skills, experience, and adaptability, qualities that women and men alike can and do possess. The success of female leaders in every sector today proves that when we focus on these attributes rather than gender, we are better positioned to build stronger, more resilient organizations. Thank you.
Member, I thank you for your arguments. We will proceed with our 2-minute intermission starting now. Members, our 2-minute intermission has concluded. May I please remind the members for this House during their second rebuttal and conclusion that you all have an additional 3 minutes and 41 seconds. You may proceed with your opening arguments. The extra time is granted from those who did not use their times in the earlier arguments. Please proceed.
Good evening, Mr. Speaker and fellow members of Parliament. I, Risha Tyrell, stand to argue that men make better leaders than women. Our team has stated the biological, historical, and psychological factors that make men more effective leaders, especially in high-pressure situations. The opposition claims that gender equality has leveled the playing field in leadership. While we agree that women can hold leadership roles, it does not mean that they are better leaders. Studies have shown that men on average are more inclined to making bold, quick decisions, particularly in dynamic environments where fast action is needed. Women tend to be more cautious, which can limit leadership effectiveness in high-stakes situations. Men historically are hunters and protectors, and these are the roles that demand strong leadership and decisiveness. Leaders such as Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. If leadership was solely based on equality or opportunity, why do men still dominate in leadership positions globally? The opposition also highlighted the success stories of female leaders. While we respect their achievements, the fact remains that women are still underrepresented in top leadership positions. There are only a few women who are leaders compared to men. This isn't just due to societal barriers. It's a reflection of deeper psychological and biological factors that make them more naturally suited in leadership
Lord
roles.
Speaker,
Yes, I'll allow the interjection. Please pause. Proceed, please.
thank you, Lord Speaker. I'd like to address the Honorable Speaker of the Tyrrell House with regards to Trump as an example. And I would like to ask her as a woman in this debate how she feels about the sexual misconduct allegations brought against Donald Trump from the 1980s all the way to 2013, all of which he has denied, women ranging from 18 to 50, sir. Can the speaker address that question, please?
And yes, no matter what Donald Trump has done, he has shown to be a very successful male leader in the United States. As shown in his election against Kamala Harris, no matter women were against him, he still was voted into presidency.
Lord Speaker, am I allowed to respond?
If you respond, you will be losing time off of
Okay,
your.
understood.
It is up to you though.
Continue.
And there will be. Okay, well, Speaker, you may proceed.
Okay. Furthermore, while it's often argued men lack empathy and emotional intelligence, this is a stereotype. Men are capable of emotional intelligence. Leadership requires decisiveness and authority, qualities often more prominent in men. Men's natural physical strength, higher testosterone levels, and competitive ways also contribute to their leadership effectiveness, particularly in competitive or crisis-driven environments. In conclusion, while the opposition has made claims about gender equality and female success stories, the core of our argument remains intact. The opposition has failed to convincingly rebut our evidence and has instead presented distractions. I urge you to recognize that our position that men make better leaders are grounded in biological science, history, and practical reality. Thank you. I now pass you over to Commander of Queen's Guard, Tiffany Tyler.
Good afternoon, members of Parliament. I will now deliver the conclusion on behalf of House Tyrrell. In conclusion, while it is essential to recognize that leadership is a multifaceted skill that can be developed by anyone, regardless of gender, the argument in favor of men making better leaders than women can be seen through certain perspectives. Historically, men have occupied leadership roles in most societies, which has led to the development of leadership styles that align with traditional male traits such as decisiveness, assertiveness, and results driven mindset, qualities often valued in leadership positions. Additionally, biological and psychological research suggests that men, on average, may possess traits like higher levels of risk taking and more competitive nature, which can be beneficial in high stakes leadership situations. Moreover, in many professional environments where leadership is often equated with authority, men may more naturally fit the mold of traditional leadership expectations. However, it's important to acknowledge that these generalizations do not negate the significant leadership potential women possess. Nevertheless, the traditional view of men as better leaders has some historical and practical grounding when considering certain leadership environments. Thank you.
Members, please be advised that we will proceed with our 2-minute intermission. However, I must remind you to maintain a respectful decorum amongst one another and to not stray away from the topics that are at hand. You may proceed. We will proceed with our intermission. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2-minute intermission has concluded. Member, before you proceed, I must inform you that you are granted an additional 13 seconds from the previous members of your group who did not use all of their time. Member, please proceed. The floor is now yours.
Greetings to you, Lord Speaker, and to all the great houses that grace us here today. As we continue our debate, it is my duty as Keeper of the Watch to remind the great houses that although leadership has always been patriarchal, this traditional masculinity has often demonstrated to our people emotionally stoic behavior that has often resulted in tainted victory. Such men, Lord Speaker, have only to allow themselves the rewards of accepting women as their equal counterparts and revel in the fact that this will not see their end, but bring about a sense of pursued development for the people of this realm. For centuries, Lord Speaker, women have been labeled the weaker sex, inferior to the likes of rugged men who slam closed fists with raised voices, invoking fear in place of compassion and empathy. Societal expectations and stereotypes have limited women's opportunities and perpetuated this myth of male superiority. Speaker Brandon Tyrrell and another member emphasized historical and traditional male leadership. But in our present time, where ambition and dedication to the greater good is needed, faces are absent. When will leaders lead, Lord Speaker? I wish to echo the sentiments shared by Spy Master of the Realm in relation to Gale's shifting models of American rhetoric, specifically to rhetorical empathy, which is particularly sensitive to those with privilege and power, and the fact that they must embrace vulnerability and examine their biases and limited perspectives in regards to female leadership. Lord Speaker, the competence and resilience demonstrated by Jacinda Ardern during her tenure as Prime Minister is exactly why we refute the views brought forward by House Tyrrell and stand firm in our belief that women are not only qualified, capable, and motivated to be successful leaders, but that they are fully equipped to thrive in the face of obscurity. Men can definitely learn from women and apply it in their roles to become authentic transformational leaders who embody confidence, optimism, transparency, morals, and ethics. A future oriented leader who supports and embraces the development of female associates as leaders. Societal norms and stereotypes, economic disparity, political and legal barriers, cultural and religious factors, some mentioned by the hand of the Queen, all contribute to the root cause of gender equality, and that stereotype must be challenged. And tonight, the Night's Watch challenges that. I thank you, Lord Speaker.
Member, thank you for your time. We will proceed with our
I'm sorry,
assessments.
Lord Speaker. I'm sorry, Lord
Uh-huh.
Speaker.
Uh,
Um,
yes.
the other member of our House will conclude.
Okay, thank you very much. Please proceed, member. Member, are you present with us? Please proceed with your conclusion.
Good afternoon, Lord Speaker. As the warden of the opposition, I state, while it is often believed that men are better leaders than women, evidence continues to prove otherwise. Throughout history, men have relied on the intellectual contributions of women, even when women were denied the opportunity to publish and share their own knowledge. Countries led by women have consistently thrived, often surpassing those led by men in significant ways. Without women in various sectors, progress would stagnate in many areas. Men have historically benefited from the ideas and labors of their female counterparts, yet men are frequently held to lower moral
Can I
standards and
interject,
are not
Speaker?
always held accountable for their actions, while women face scrutiny despite having the same qualifications. Even when women outperform their male colleagues, they continue to be paid less for completing the same tasks. The belief that women are weaker leaders due to their emotional intelligence, such as empathy and compassion, is unfounded. In fact, these traits help women build trust and respect as leaders. Women often exhibit greater resilience, pushing through numerous challenges to achieve what their male counterparts attain with far less resistance. In conclusion, Women's leadership characterized by emotional intelligence, resilience, and dedication should not only be recognized but valued as equal to, if not greater than men's. As societies continue to evolve, it is clear that women's contributions are essential to progress. Iris.
Member, I sincerely thank you for your arguments. However, there was another member who might have interjected or wanted to during the conclusion. Sir, would you care to say what you wanted to say?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the closing conclusion just said, the debaters mentioned about how female leaders in leadership roles are more successful and more enhanced when it comes to being successful in leadership roles. I want to know what statistics do they have to provide the correct information on this? Because statistically, that would have been wrong. Because if men hold most leadership positions, then her fact or her propaganda she's spreading here is actually wrong, and it wouldn't be right. And I close.
Member, as much as I appreciate your interjection, I do not think now is an appropriate time to ask another one for a statistical fact, but I will rule your interjection out of order as does not currently relate to the topic that we are discussing at hand. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed with our assessments of 8 minutes, and we will have an additional 5 minutes and 5 seconds of extra time. The assessment will begin now.